Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, decides to invite the English ambassador to the White House for dinner. And dinner was like a super important thing, like a lot of important decisions were made at dinner back then. And the English ambassador, whose name is Murray, thinks that this dinner is in his honor, so he's like shows up to DC like decked out. He's got like gold braid and a hat with a plume and a sword. It's like crazy. And he also brings his wife. So they go up to the White House and they knock on the door, but no one answers, so they just kind of show themselves in. And they find Thomas Jefferson in the Oval Office in his pajamas, like with his feet up on the desk. He's just chilling. And he's like, "Oh, hey guys, what's up?" And Murray and his wife are like, hey, we're here, um, and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, that's cool. Why don't you come back at 7 and we can have our dinner? So they're like, okay, yeah, sure. And they come back to the White House later, and they're still fully decked out. They're very formal. And Thomas Jefferson is wearing pantaloons and ankle shoes, which is commoner's clothing. Like, if you didn't know that he was the president of the United States, you would have thought that he was some farmer. And Murray and his wife think it's pretty weird. They're like, he's the president, and wasn't he ambassador to France, so, like, he knows how to dress, like, appropriately, but okay, whatever. So they all go to the dining room to see that James Madison and the ambassadors to Spain and France were already there. But England and France were at war at the time, and this was like a big no-no. Like, you did not invite warring people to dinner. There was a saying, don't invite enemies to break bread lest they break heads. So both the ambassadors are like freaking out. They're like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? You suck. Your country sucks. You suck. Blah, blah, blah. And Jefferson's like, guys, stop. It's cool. I'm sorry. My bad. Didn't think about that. But why don't we just be like mature people and we can still have a good dinner? They're like, okay, fine. So then what was supposed to happen was that the host, Jefferson, was going to take the guest of honor, or Murray's wife, to come sit at the seat of honor to his right. Because it was like a big, whole, very important thing. But that's not what happened. Jefferson goes up to Dolly Madison, his best friend James Madison's wife, and walks her to the seat of honor instead. And Dolly Madison tells Jefferson, like, yo, I don't think you should do this. You should probably take Murray's wife. And Jefferson's like, nah, I like you. It's cool. It'll be fine. And the ambassador to Spain's wife gets all freaked out. She's like, oh my god, this is going to start a war. Like, this is how serious this seat was. So by now the English are pretty insulted. They're like, we came over here from England with our fancy clothes, thinking that we're the guest of honor, and you show up in pantaloons, you invite the French, and you dishonor us in front of everyone, and we know you know proper dinner etiquette because you were ambassador to France. Like, what's up, Jefferson? And Jefferson's like, it's fine. This is just how we do things nowadays. I'm sorry, I didn't think it was a big deal, but oh well. So eventually, they all sit down. But the English are still pretty pissed. Like, Murray's wife is insulting the food. She's like, your food sucks, and your palace sucks, and it's like half built, and you suck, and you suck, and you suck. And Jefferson's just sitting at the head of the table, enjoying everyone's discomfort. After dinner, James Madison walks up to Murray and says, you know, I'm sorry. I know that must have been pretty insulting. Why don't you come over to my place and have dinner there to make up for this one? And he agrees. So the next weekend, they go over to Madison's, but James Madison does the same exact thing